Welcome back to Hear Me Out. I'm Dee,
I'm E.
and today's video might piss a lot of people off.
What an intro.
I'm just saying, because listen, Linda, some topics are always controversial no matter what. And I think this one that, might rub people the wrong or has rubbed people the wrong way. So, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that Bad Bunny is Forbes' new king of pop, and Michael Jackson's fans have erupted in fury. So, according to a publication called La Marca, in the dynamic realm of music, the indomitable Bad Bunny, age 29, has emerged as a prominent figure, gaining global recognition for his prolific career. Last October, he released the album Nadie Sabe Lo Que Va a Pasar Mañana, which means no one knows what's going to happen tomorrow, marking yet another milestone in his meteoric journey that extends beyond music into the realm of cinema. Recently, Forbes magazine featured the Puerto Rican artist on its cover, igniting controversy by dubbing him the new king of pop, a title famously associated with the late Michael Jackson. Forbes commends Bad Bunny as a creative force, emphasizing his ability to turn anything he produces into a worldwide hit. The feature delves into the artist's significant accomplishments, highlighting his status as the most played artist on Spotify with a staggering 35.9 billion plays. Notably, his YouTube channel boasts over 32 billion views, surpassing renowned artists such as Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran, and Taylor Swift. Adding to his achievements, Bad Bunny recently made history by spending 100 weeks at number one on Billboard's Latin Songwriters chart. Dang, I didn't know that.
I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, but we'll wait. All right. So, how have Michael Jackson's fans reacted? Terribly. Some would say terribly. Right. So, described by Spotify music director Jeremy Elrich, as deeply entrenched in culture, Bad Bunny is recognized for defining popular culture and expanding regional music to a global audience throughout streaming services and social media. His album Un Verano Sin Ti has achieved the distinction of being the most listened to album of all time on Spotify worldwide. For Forbes, Bad Bunny epitomizes the modern pop idol. Isn't that a stretch, though? That was actually my, you know,
Objection. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So he's epitomized as a modern pop idol, a global artist leveraging streaming platforms and social media to captivate billions of listeners. His versatility extends beyond music, as evidenced by his foray of wrestling scene, appearances in Gucci ads, and collaborating with brands like Crocs, where his shoe line sold out within minutes. I didn't know that. First of all,
Yeah.
why do people even wear Crocs? I have so many questions. Do you have Crocs?
Yeah, I have croc sides.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Why are we friends? However, Forbes' decision to crown Bad Bunny with the King of Pop title has sparked polarized reactions on social media. Given the historical association of this title with Michael Jackson, fans of the iconic artist have contested Forbes' opinion. The debate continues to unfold across various platforms, reflecting the diverse perspectives within the music community. So people are upset. What do you
Yeah. Okay. So I have a take on this, right?
think?
Before I get into whether he deserves it or not, we have to, as a society, move forward. Like, we don't have a president forever. We don't have a queen forever. We don't have a king forever. There's evolution and there's different generations that come along. And for them, this artist may be the new king of pop. So for people to have these reactions, it's entirely normal to, be against it or whatnot, or to have your difference of opinion because you still believe Michael Jackson to be the king of pop. But ultimately, there are new generations, and these newer generations are listening to him as clearly dictated by all those statistics that we just read. So, whether he is or he isn't, to a group of people that is in the billions, he technically is. Because you don't have these sort of numbers just by like one group of people, right? Because then it would be much smaller. These are worldwide numbers. And yes, I know Michael Jackson did it all before without streaming, without the internet, without all. Yes, I get that. But we are in a new generation, we are in a new era. So
Hmm.
to kind of like make it seem as though it's the end of the world that someone else has been crowned, like it was bound to happen, you know? And
Hmm.
whether I personally think he is or not, like I don't know, I've never put any thought into it. So when they said it, I was just like, really? That's it. That was my whole thought about it. Because I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. It's not something that like makes me feel any kind of way. I think he is a very popular artist. I think he has shown over the years a lot of growth and a lot of like love and appreciation from his fans. Like he has hardcore fans. Um and so it's not to me so far-fetched if they're calling him the new king of pop. Um but you know, people are going to have their opinions and that's just the world we live in.
But what do you think? Should he become?
I honestly genuinely don't have an opinion on it. Whether he is or he isn't, I don't. I'm just kind of like, I guess. Like literally just like that. Cuz like I have loved Bad Bunny for years. I've
Mhm.
listened to his music for years. Un Verano Sin Ti is literally, I think, my number two most played album, according to my Apple Music replay of 2023. And it came out in 2022. Like, I do, you know, love and enjoy his music, but I understand and acknowledge that it's not for everyone.
Mhm.
What I think is amazing is that he's made these numbers with what 99.9 or almost 100% all Spanish music. That to me is astonishing and that does make him, I would say, a worldwide icon. I'm not calling him like just the king of pop. I'm not limiting him because that feels very limited. He is a worldwide icon whether people want to believe it or not. Those numbers, the way he has transcended, crossed over, back in the 90s, late 90s, when we had the Latin explosion and it was like Ricky Martin, Jennifer Lopez, Mark Anthony, and all that, it was still limited. It was still limited because they had to make English music. Live in La Vida Loca, that was not entirely in Spanish. He may have said a few words, I think, in Spanish. Mark Anthony made an English album. Jennifer Lopez started singing in English and then eventually made Spanish albums. So
Selena.
yes, Selena, which like with her, I think had she, not been killed, I think she could have made the whole Latin explosion happen a whole lot sooner. But my point is just that like for our people, the representation hasn't always been there.
Mhm.
And seeing what Bad Bunny has done, how he's literally run away with the genre, right? Which is reggaeton. That is his genre. He's literally run away with it because he didn't come first. We know back in the old days, we had Daddy Yankee, we had Don Omar, we had Evie Queen, all of them. And even though Daddy Yankee had like a global hit with Gasolina, it still wasn't what Bad Bunny's doing now. And even in Bad Bunny's generation, you had people like J Balvin that came out first. You had all these other artists that were doing things before Bad Bunny really like took off. But then he ran away with it. So my whole thing is that he has transcended in so many ways to which if that's what they're labeling him, then I'm gonna go ahead and believe it. All right, that's cool. Like, yes, he's done a lot that I feel people don't want to give him credit for because he's dating a Kardashian, because he's like, to this or to that, or like how our parents think, oh, he's just mumbling. I can't understand what he's saying. Oh, that's ugly music. That's how people view things. But to me, the fact that like he has made um all of these waves, the fact that he has like these statistics, being that he is like a predominantly Spanish speaker with predominantly Spanish produced music, is amazing because you go to any country in the world and you will hear, English music. That is the norm, right? We have been to some remote parts of the world and we've heard English music. But when we hear Spanish music, I feel like for us, it's always surprising. Like, it's not surprising to hear an English song, but to hear like a Spanish song. I remember we were in Vienna, I believe. We had just arrived in the city. We went to like lunch because we were starving. We'd just gotten off the train, I think. And they were playing Despacito at this like Austrian restaurant, and all of these things to me add up to the fact that like there is a movement and Bad Bunny's at the helm and he's also influencing, so many others. I don't really care about like, whatever he's got going on personally anymore. And the news has been lately of like, the ticket prices for his concerts and that the last album was this or that. To me, either way, what he's done is amazing, and I'm just gonna like, you know, believe that. That's it.
You know, I gotta admit, you brought up some pretty interesting points. I can accept that the new generation, this is their new king of pop. I
Yeah,
can accept that. I can accept the whole wave of, his genre and the people that he's appealing to. I'm not trying to take away all that he's done.
yeah.
But would Beyonce, I'll say Beyonce, I'll say, I don't know, I'm trying to
Taylor
think of
Swift.
Taylor Swift or somebody. Do you think that they will be okay with Forbes saying, hey, you're the new king of pop, queen of pop? I don't think so. Because Beyonce, let's say, looks up to somebody like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
For Michael Jackson is like, let's say, a trendsetter.
Mm,
He is what I consider transgenerational. I think we listen to Michael Jackson. I know like my niece was doing the Thriller dance. She's 4 at
yeah.
her, VPK.
Yeah.
Our parents, our grandparents, if we have some great grandparents out there, they're probably listening to it too.
Yeah.
So the way that Michael Jackson just produced music and the way he sang it, it just like bound people together. Black or white or Hispanic or not Hispanic, like he just united people.
Yeah.
And I think, he was just such an icon and he still is an icon. And I consider him a go. I love his music. I listen to it all the time. So I think just him, Bad Bunny, being okay with being called the king of pop, even the new king of pop, I feel like it's a little disrespectful. Like where's and granted, Forbes gave him that title, but then again, he's subscribing to this article, to this title. I don't know, I just find it a little disrespectful. Like you're not paying, I guess, homage to what has happened before. If there was no Michael Jackson, if there was no David Beckham in football, soccer, if there was no I don't know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Bill Russell, then other people wouldn't have been able to do the things that they do. Like
Hmm.
David Beckham, he was one of the first ones to do campaigns and do XYZ. So we see a lot of these football athletes and other athletes were around, just doing campaigns, expanding their business, thinking of life after sports kind of thing. Michael
Yeah.
Jackson doing ad campaigns or commercials with Pepsi, or was it Pepsi or Coca Cola?
Probably Pepsi.
Um, Doing that, doing concerts and XYZ and streaming and all that. No, well, not streaming, but, being on TV and things like that. If he wouldn't have done the things that he's done, other people wouldn't have been able to do what they can do now. And
Yeah.
it's just so easy now because we have social media
Yeah.
where, Michael Jackson didn't have that. So it took him what, his whole lifetime probably to amass what Bad Bunny could do. And I don't know, I don't want to make it, minimize what he's done. but it probably took, let's say, Bad Bunny 5 years, whereas probably it took Michael Jackson 20. So I
Yeah.
feel like you can't really compare apples to apples. But I think, you wouldn't call the king of rock and roll, I don't know, who's somebody in rock and roll right now? Somebody else. Or
I have no idea.
future, or you don't use the Princess of Wales. That's a title for Princess Diana. So we
Yeah.
know that Queen Camilla now, she was the
Mm.
Duchess, what was it, the Duchess of Cornwall?
Cornwall, yeah.
She would use that title instead, even though she was the Princess of
She
Wales.
wasn't. She was never given the title, so therefore she didn't have it.
What do you mean she wasn't given the title? Kate has the Princess of Wales title.
Because King Charles gave it to both of them.
We'll see. Well,
Mhm.
we're going to look for Camilla. But
Well, mhm.
I'm just saying, I
Yeah.
find it, why can't we give them other titles? You know?
But see, okay, that goes back to like what I'm saying though, that why do we have to hold on to these things as though it is only exclusive to this one individual, right? Like how often do we hear about the GOAT debate when it comes to like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant? Like we hear about it all the time. And to different generations, to different groups of people, they're going to have different GOATs. So, I feel like to have sort of like this outrage of like, you know, how dare they or whatever, it seems a little bit like extreme, it's
Mhm.
like first of all, yes, I know for a fact Beyonce looked up to Michael Jackson. That was one of her inspirations. I don't know because I haven't read the Forbes article if Bad Bunny actually said anything about Michael Jackson. I don't know if Bad Bunny gave any kind of, flowers to Michael Jackson or if he has in the past. But at the same time, it's like they didn't do the same music. So what kind of homage does he really have to pay to him when Bad
Mhm.
Bunny's a reggaeton artist who's now
Which
being
that's
styled
I don't even understand why they would give him that title.
because it's the king of popular music. That's what the king of pop is.
Mhm.
Popular. Not like pop music is popular music. It's just always been looked at as this one subset like of type of music, one, more singular kind of thing like you see like Taylor Swift is pop music. But at the same time you can say that Beyonce's pop music. Like it's based on the fact that it's popular. It's just shortened to pop. He is making popular music and therefore he is now, according to Forbes, the king of pop. So it's like right now, I think it's very hard to like say that, this person is that or this person is this or the other because someone's always going to have an opinion about it. Someone's always going to like see it as like, no, 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 no. No, because they couldn't be better than this other person. But it's like it's not the same thing. And so I feel like if Beyonce were to be given the title of Queen of Pop, I think she would absolutely take it. I think she would immediately take it, just like Taylor
Okay.
Swift.
Okay.
Yes, of course, because these are, at the end of the day, these are artists who have been working their entire lives
Mhm.
to have this legacy, to have this, success. And they can accomplish a million things. Like we know that Beyonce has won 29 Grammys. I think she's the most awarded Grammy winner, at least female winner. I'm not sure. I think she might be tied with overall. Anyway, point is, she could easily be given the title of Queen of Pop. And this is all, everything she's received in her life, all the awards, all the accolades. Why would she turn down being called the Queen of Pop? I don't think it would be disrespectful of her to like accept some sort of moniker that way because it's like she, like you said, she looked up to him. He was an inspiration to her. Why wouldn't you want to eventually become something as big as that inspiration, something as big as what you've always looked up to? That's, I would think for an artist, that would be like an end goal, right? To like achieve that sort of status. Whether Forbes wants to call her the Queen of Pop or not, I know she is. So it's like, again, but this is subjective, right? Like that's my opinion. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like she would absolutely accept that moniker. It would be like, heck yeah, about time, So anyway, and then But then some people will get mad because that's what Madonna used to be called. She was called the Queen of Pop, and oh, but what about her? And then her time has passed. Michael Jackson, I agree, made transgenerational music, but his time has passed. Like, can you still listen to his music now and enjoy it? Yes. Are people going out of the way to listen to Michael Jackson music right now? Probably not. Like, I'm sure the fans are, but most people aren't. Are people right now presently going out of the way to listen to a Bad Bunny album when it drops? Yes, they are. Even with Drake.
Probably that happened with Michael Jackson. They had
At
to
that
wait in line
time,
to go get CDs.
that time, we are not
That's
there anymore. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
happened.
The time has passed. The era has come
Mhm.
and gone. Just like one day Taylor Swift and Beyonce's era will have passed, and you will like. Here's an example because it always cracks me up when I think about it. We were obsessed with boy bands back in the day. BSB for life, right?
Yeah,
We've made videos about NSYNC, the possible reunion, which was all a ploy. Anyway, um,
we hate
and
you.
yet, and yet, within what 10 years maybe of us being obsessed with Backstreet Boys and all these boy bands in the late '90s, within like maybe 10 years or so, who came out and was like bigger than they were? One Direction. Like, kids, girls, whatever, they were obsessed with One Direction.
Mhm.
Like, people were crying in the friggin' streets when One Direction broke up. Like, they were making numbers, and we were kind of like, what? What? We weren't listening to them. But for that group, that generation, those, those fans, they were what the Backstreet Boys were to us. So that's kind of why I feel like it happens. It's life. And then even now, within the last few years, you've had BTS. The way people go crazy over BTS is like, whoa, insane. So that's my point, that it's like time passes, and eventually you are not this person anymore. For your time frame, you will always be that person. But now there's new people. Just like LeBron is going to be retiring soon, and he will no longer be the GOAT to a lot of people. There are people in the NBA right now that were born after Michael Jackson, not Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, like either retired or was going to retire or whatever, who did not witness him play live, either in the court, on TV, or whatever. Like, we are in a whole new world now, ma'am.
I mean, just because we're in a whole new world, you know, it could still be a dazzling place and people can have their own titles. Like
Oh,
we have like how many words? What did you say the other day? The Riz effect is the word
Riz.
the Riz is the
Oxford's word of the year.
all right, so Oxford can have
Yeah.
another phrase, the king of I don't know, Bad Bunny for Bad Bunny. Like why does he need to take pop? That's my end thought.
Because it's popular music.
Hmm, okay.
Ah,
I
jeez.
think this is one of the times we're going to agree to disagree.
I think
I
so.
do, I do see your point, though. This is a different generation, and what you like is not necessarily what I like.
Right,
But
right.
you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think like it just it's okay to move forward, y'all. It is okay to move on.
It's also okay to put some respect
Who
on.
who is disrespecting though?
That is
Anyway, that's it.
disrespectful, but we're done here, guys.
Oh, but wait, hold on, because I wanted to find this quote. I had a feeling. Okay, so usually known as the king of Latin trap, Bad Bunny's music crosses multiple genres, but some people did not agree with Forbes' description of him as El Rey de Pop, the Spanish translation of King of Pop, featured alongside Bad Bunny's photo on the cover of the magazine. So of course, these are some of the reactions, like, from people like, no, Michael Jackson is the king of pop. I don't know one Bad Bunny song. Of course not, because a lot of these people don't listen to Spanish music. And then Let's see. Just more
I do
shade.
find it commendable though that he would be considered for something like this. And like you mentioned, a Latin artist getting
Yeah.
all this all this traction, all his music is popular, he sells out things. I think it's pretty cool for our peeps. How
Oh yeah.
he could be the
However.
king of, he could be the king of Bad Bunny. Continue.
No, I thought it was gonna be like something from him, like from the actual article, but no, that was just like more quotes of just people ranting on the internet. So never
Yeah.
mind.
So, guys, that concludes today's video. Please let us know who is your king of pop and tell us why. Because, this is going to be a very much debated discussion between D and E offline because it will be uncensored. Um, you can't listen to all of it, guys.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. Do you think Bad Bunny deserves it? I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve it. I just would like him to have another title. That's it. Just another
All
one.
right.
But let us know what you think. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share our video. We're happy to report that we're growing our community. We're
Yay.
trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Can
Whew.
you believe that?
No,
So please share our video. We thank you guys. Your friends could be our friends. We can all be friends. We also have social media, which Steve will tell you about.
we're on Instagram and TikTok at Hear Me Out DNE. So make sure you guys follow us on socials, comment, like, share, interact. We love that. It's always a lot of fun.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.